There we go. My goodness, the crew is going to stay together for a long time because ever since we
Apparently.
brought Mike on, the Denver Broncos refused to lose a football game. Tonight, notching their biggest win by far, I would even say, since Super Bowl 50. I was in high school the last time the Broncos won a game this meaningful. I'm elated right now. There's so much to talk about. I think some good, even some bad that we probably won't spend too much time on, but might be worth mentioning. Joining me, as always, we've got Mike Carmelini of Mic'd Up in the middle. We got David of David Talk Sports on the right. I want to ask you guys what you think of the game. I'll start with you, David, because you got to tell us about Kalshi.
Hey, you guys are phenomenal. Thank you for being such great friends, allowing me to do this. Shout out to Kalshi. They're the new sponsor, David Talks Broncos. And I made a few dollars today with those nice custom mods on the Broncos, taking on beating the Chiefs, even though we had all the guys out, even though Bo Nix didn't play very well last couple of games, man. Links in the description. Use the promo code DTB, David Talks Broncos, for a little $10 deposit bonus once you get playing. Terms and conditions apply. But shout out to Kalshi. They have been phenomenal. They're going to get me a hat to wear. So that's going to be great. But thank you guys for being collaborative friends, allowing me to have that on here. But, man, the big takeaway, dude, this team is a real Super Bowl contender, baby. And they showed the composure because not only did we beat the Chiefs, guys, man, we beat the refs. The refs did everything in their power to give this game to Kansas City, man. They're letting the Chiefs DBs grab and hold and put their arm around our hips and everything like that. They were calling two different games on our Broncos. But, man, it didn't matter. We had 150 yards of fake penalties. We showed ice in the veins. A fourth quarter comeback for Bo Nix. Defense plays lights out without some of our top guys. I'm on cloud 9 right now. We finished the job. Zach.
I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled. This game was amazing. And I want to echo what you said. Like, this was a huge proving ground game for the Denver Broncos, I think. Everyone's been saying, I keep hearing it, working the radio for KOA. They can't keep getting away with this. And they keep doing it. I think, it was one thing when they had just the one win against the Eagles. Now I think it's safe to say that this team is continuously playing to the level of their competition.
Yes.
And it's good that they're playing up. It's a little frustrating that they're playing down to it, but a lot of teams keep doing that this year. And unlike those other teams, like the Eagles dropping a game to the Giants or the Chargers getting shelled by the Jaguars, the Broncos are taking care of business when they play a lesser opponent. Gives me a lot of confidence about the team. Mike, how are you feeling after this one?
This is the best I've felt, Zach, in a long time. This is not only the biggest win in Denver in a decade, maybe, arguably. It was like a team win. We don't even have to talk about special teams today, if you can believe that. Defense, special teams, offense, everybody was good. I mean, we're going to have to be really nitpicky if we're going to talk bad about the team today. Penalties are still there, but the refs were insane tonight, to be honest with you. They, on both sides, the non-calls were just as bad as the calls. Like, it was just really bad. And Zach, I feel great about this win. One of my kids said to me after the game, we watch all these games together, and he said, "You know what? We earned this one. We beat them. This wasn't some fluky win. We've been behind in every game we've played this year. And we almost made it this game, not being behind, which might have, zinged us at the end. But thank God we were behind, because when the fourth quarter started, as I call it, we win the game, Zach. It doesn't get much better than that, man. 9-2.
It's amazing.
9-2. I mean, just wrap your head around that.
Who would have thought, man?
9-2. We lost 2 games by the flukiest, stupidest shit. This team should be 11-0. That's amazing.
It really is amazing. They've lost 2 games at the buzzer, and again against 2 good opponents. Like the respectable games. Absolutely. I'll just say we've got a lot of people in the chat right now. I'm having to fix something on the LTB end of things, and I'll get that sorted quick. But please like the stream, comment, support wherever you are watching this. We really appreciate it, especially if you are watching this after the fact on LTB, because once again I screwed up the stream. But guys.
Did you say we lost again?
They don't tune in for this.
No. Thankfully, I didn't do that. I just left it unlisted. So I'm fixing that right now. But I wanted to ask you guys, we kind of got our immediate emotional interactions. I'll get to your big winners of the game.
Yeah.
My first big question to you guys, I'll throw out. Did and we'll turn this, I guess, into the Bo Nix improvement meter. Did Bo Nix outplay Patrick Mahomes today on the biggest stage the Broncos have had in a decade? Mike, I'll start with you this time.
Yeah, he did. And here's the thing. Mahomes had a touchdown pass to Kalshi, but Hufanga had him well short of that. And unlike what Hufanga normally does, Kalshi ran right through him. It was a really weird play by Hufanga. Other than that, he was just waylaying people all night. But he also threw a pick, took 3 sacks. I think their numbers, yardages, and completion percentage was probably really close. I think Bo had about 300 yards to Mahomes 175-ish. And so clearly, I think Bo was just more impactful on the game. And had it not been for that crazy, kind of predictable Mahomes throw on 3rd and whatever, and he throws it 60 yards in the air and the receiver pushes off a little bit and makes a catch, he would have had 220 yards passing. And, so I'm going to say that, Bo outplayed him tonight. Bo wasn't perfect, but he outplayed Mahomes tonight.
I kind of tend to agree. David, where are you at on this?
And I'll tell you guys this. So I've been watching like a lot of the old like Elway games, at nights and stuff. Just, this morning, watched 1986. The Drive,
yes.
baby. The Drive. Of course, a beautiful game. But that 98-yard drive, I'm like, man, Bo Nix can do something like that today. Now, it wasn't 98 yards. It was 89 yards. Okay. But he was phenomenal when the game was on the line, making money throws on 3rd down. His accuracy.
Oh, that one to Court. Oh,
dude,
my God.
Dude,
oh my God.
The one to Court was beautiful. How about finally connecting on a pass with Troy Franklin there on that final drive?
A few of them.
Yeah. How about that? His timing was on. Maybe he just needed time off. Hey, Sean Payton saying, hey, Chase Daniel, Colin Cowherd, go ahead and get in this guy's head so he locks in. That's exactly what happened. And for all you stat nerds, okay, let's look at this. Let's look at yards per attempt. Mahomes 6.1, Bo Nix 8.0.
Let's go.
295 yards on 64% completion. And he had 8 less attempts, dude, than Patrick Mahomes. He showed accuracy. Maybe Troy Franklin can come down with some of these 50-50 balls at some point. That would help him out too, but he showed the poise. We've seen it now 5 games this year. He's just money when the game's on the line.
And we've seen some high watermarks from him, like the Colts game, I thought was good. The Cowboys game, of course, tonight was really good. And I'm normally the stats guy. You guys hit him. Just the eye test. It was Patrick Mahomes overthrowing the wide open receivers downfield on would-be touchdown plays. And you had Bo was accurate today, and it came at the most clutch time. Yes, in the 4th quarter, and he's been clutch all year.
Clutch gene.
But beyond that, this Broncos offense has leaned, and maybe not as much as we would like, but they have leaned hard on the run game all year long, and hard on specifically J.K. Dobbins all year long. And this year they haven't been able, or not this year, this week, they weren't able to, and they tried to get Harvey involved. I think he looked better towards the end, but that run game was not there throughout the first 3 quarters. And they would have been shipwrecked. This could have been a 19-3 loss if Bo Nix played like he had for much of this season up until this week. And he turned it on at the absolute right time. They needed it. I hope he sustains it for the rest of the season. But yeah, he was just money tonight. Like, it wasn't a perfect quarterbacking performance, but so much more accurate than he's been, I think, just about all season. Managed the pocket really well. These past few weeks, he had gotten like so gun shy and was, maybe not seeing ghosts, but starting to tuck the ball and maybe give up on a play. The moment he saw a flash of color this week, it was just like everything I wanted to see from Bo Nix's second year. And I've been hard on him when it was rougher. This was outstanding and gave me just so much more confidence for him going forward. Not having J.K. Dobbins going forward is going to hurt. They need to find some semblance of a run game. Yes. But if Bo plays like this the rest of the way, they can beat any team in the NFL. That doesn't mean they will beat every team in the NFL, but they can go toe-to-toe with anyone and take someone down. Like, yes, the Chiefs are a 5-5 team. The betting models, DVOA, will tell you this is the best team in the NFL. And the Broncos outplayed them. Like, they didn't just win. They outplayed them. It was get a Jade Barron pick 6 that was not the product of the defensive penalty, but that gets wiped off the board. You get 10 points gifted to the Chiefs on DPI penalties. Another, I think it was a touchdown drive. Maybe it ended in a field goal. I forget. But you have another scoring drive set up by that Tyquan Thornton push off. That doesn't get called. So, like, the officiating was not necessarily in the Broncos' favor. And I just think, man, Bo Nix, like, yes, the defense had a great performance. I'm not trying to say it was all Bo, but he came through in like the biggest way tonight, and I'm thrilled about it.
Yeah, Zach, I just want to add on one thing. Like, I said earlier that the Broncos were going to have to run the ball to win this game, and they didn't do it successfully. But the splits, 24 passes, 21 rushes, with a run game that was averaging like nothing, just what was RJ Harvey, 2.7, 3.2 for McLaughlin, 2.7, 2 for, just like, but sticking with that run. Think about the clock running and not leaving Mahomes time on the game. Like, again, David and I've talked about this before. When we had, what was the time on the clock when we got the ball back? We held them
somewhere around
6 minutes, something.
Was it 6 minutes?
Yeah.
And I was like, all they need is a 6-minute drive, kick a field goal, go home, score a touchdown, go home. And for some reason, just enough balance to keep, what's the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs? The
Spags.
Just a great defensive coordinator, but they did just enough that they didn't really know what's coming on a couple plays. Like, they were ready for pass, but they were obvious pass or whatever, but they mixed it up just enough that even though the run game wasn't working, they did have to cover that run a little bit. And like you said, Harvey, a little bit towards the end, there were a few lanes that opened up. So that opened up the pass game. And you're right. Bo Nix tonight, he talked about it this week. He was very unhappy with his own footwork. You could tell that he had worked on it. He was moving up in the pocket. He did scramble backwards and do that sort of weird throwaway thing a few times. He had another intentional grounding, which he's averaging like 1 a game, I think. But other than that, he had a very solid game. And you're right. The Broncos can beat anybody in this league if Bo plays like he did tonight. This is a really, really good football team when their offense wakes up. And by the way, last thing, that tempo thing, that sort of quick huddle thing. That's it, man. That's the key. They did it more this game. It works for them. I hope they stick with it.
And they controlled possession. They controlled the clock. It's finding that middle ground. They didn't put their defense in a bad spot.
Yeah.
I'm glad they went to it. I think that was a good, mini buy adjustment. And you're just seeing just seeing the best version of Bo Nix tonight was so big. It has me optimistic that hopefully he can keep building on it. Something he did last year too. It was rough the first 6 weeks. He comes off the mini bye and then he played his best football of the season. I was really
much for the rest of the season. He played his best ball. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
now the DPA's got to be good for this game, right? Hopefully.
The what?
The EPA.
The EPA. Yeah. Sorry, I thought you said BPA, and I was like, oh, I'm not thinking draft right now. Yeah, I bet the EPA that won't
best
be
player
uploaded.
available.
I won't be able to pull it up until tomorrow morning, but I would assume it's pretty good. Like he didn't take negative plays. There weren't a lot of nothing burgers even in terms of like incompletions.
Yeah.
He'll probably be hurt because he didn't score, right? He comes away with 0 touchdowns. But he was ripping like high value plays on third down. And that's the other thing I'd want to hit on. It wasn't like I see Broncos fans hold up that Falcons game from Bo Nix a good bit as like this, oh wow, great quarterback. And like the stat line's awesome. But it was kind of just that Falcons defense sucked, and the screen passes the Broncos always run were going for like 80 yards because no one could tackle. And they did a good job offensively, but that wasn't like surgical quarterbacking or high level quarterbacking. He did everything to take what the defense gave him. They just gave him a lot in that game against this Chiefs defense, and frickin' Steve Spagnuolo just diced him up. And it's at the point now where, okay, he's done it in Arrowhead. Yeah, there's the other game against the KC backups. But even if you look at the 2 games now he has against KC's starters, like he's eaten Steve Spagnuolo alive. And that is a hefty compliment. I am so thrilled with what we saw from him today.
Yeah. Oh, I did want to say this too. I want to credit Bo Nix, man, not putting the ball in harm's way. I know that, hey, 1 for 5 in the red zone, but Pat Mahomes, man, and I know we'll get to Jaquan, but I mean, he should have had 2 interceptions. Well, I guess it was on the same drive, but man, Mahomes, that's the Brett Favre in him coming out that some people can't comprehend, man. That throw made absolutely no sense, and I think it's the fact that we took that thing 89 yards after the pick 6 was taken off the board. It was just that was, I feel like, maybe not like the big momentum shift, but I think it gave everybody confidence, man, that they could really finish this game.
Yeah. And I think winning this one is also just a huge monkey off this team's back. They've been doing better recently against the Chiefs, but the Chiefs are still the bully in the league, let alone the conference, let alone the division. And now in the Sean Payton era, you have 5 games against the Chiefs, and the Broncos are 3-2. And one of those losses is, an at the buzzer field goal block. And I think the other loss from 2023 was a 1 possession loss.
Yep.
Meanwhile, you've got 2 multiple possession victories, one of those against backups, but still it's a new era in terms of the Broncos' ability to match up with the Chiefs. And so that'll lead me into the second part of our improvement meter. How do you guys feel about Sean Payton after this one?
Mike, why don't you go first?
Okay. Clearly stock up on Bo. I mean, we did talk about Bo, but we're doing our improvement meter. Stock up on Bo. Shout out to Sean Payton. He only got cute once with the RJ Harvey toss back pass to Bo Nix that could have cost us the game
on the first drive.
I don't know what. Yeah, I mean, we were in scoring position. You're rolling down the field, and he pulls that when 2 runs would have got him a first down. But yeah, I'm stock up on Sean. I felt specifically the offense again with the 24 passes, 21 rushes. He fought his apparent urge to pass get pass happy. But he drew up. I loved his plays tonight, especially in the passing game. I don't really know enough about the running game to critique, to get deep into it. But his passing game was really well designed. and they were running a little bit of zone on him tonight too, Zach. And did you see that? And Bo generally struggles against that. And I saw some route concepts that it obviously Bo looked really comfortable throwing. Like he knew where he was going to go with the ball fairly quickly, and then he pulled the trigger. He held. It's weird. He holds, like these little where the back leaks out. A little, not quite a full on whatever the big
Screen.
The wheel, not like a wheel route, but like just
Quick
a leaking.
route,
Yeah, quick route to the running back. He tends to look at him and then think about it for a minute and then throws it as soon as the guy's about to get tackled. Like that's another thing Bo needs to clear up. Because when it's 2nd and 8 and the guy's gonna immediately get you a first down or 6 yards, just throw it to him and be done with it. But his confidence on that beautiful ball to Franklin over the shoulder down the sidelines late in the game or earlier in the game was fantastic. Well, as an NFL pro pass. So yeah, I could sit here and ramble about Bo all night. I'm going to go back to Sean. I'm going up on Sean tonight too. I thought it was a well-coached game, and he took out a ref for us. So Zach, you can consider that a win as well.
Absolutely. David, where are you at on Sean Payton's performance tonight?
Yeah, man. Kansas City usually comes out, plays really well after buys. I assume that their record is fantastic.
22-4, and now 22-5 under Andy Reid.
Wow, how about that? So,
and that's just off the top of my head. I know all the stats.
They were a desperate team coming into this. Like, that they were going to give a fantastic effort. Yep. And the biggest thing that I want to credit Sean Payton with, it's what we've seen all season, is that this team is just resilient, man. So it didn't matter. Like, again, those dumb calls on Riley Moss, the push-offs, man, what's going on? They're not letting Jaleel McLaughlin, he's actually breaking a tackle, and we can't even get the yardage from that. But this team had a short memory, man. He prepared them well in terms of the attitude. They played fantastic. We finally got a great special teams performance. So want to credit him and the coaches with that. I mean, Marvin Mims had a couple of really nice returns. Mims had a huge return that set up, I think, at least one field goal right off the bat. Yeah. And Lutz, obviously amazing. But how about Jeremy Crawshaw, man? He almost had one blocked, but it ended up being like close to a 60-yard kick to put the Chiefs back close to their own 10-yard line. So, Sean Payton, he didn't get too cute. He had a couple Sean Payton calls. You're going to get that all the time with him, but ultimately can't complain. And I kind of wish we went to the run a little bit more. Hard to nitpick that, but I did want to give our running backs credit because I thought that they ran hard for being smaller guys. I think they gave great effort today, and it was nice to see them get some tough yards against Kansas City with Chris Jones maybe playing his best game of the year so far.
Yeah, and on your Crawshaw, 4 punts, 58 yards was his long one. Inside the 20, 3 of them. So another great night from Crawshaw. And then Mims had 3 punt returns, and he averaged 33 yards with a 70-yard line. Like a big night from him.
Absolutely. Great stuff from Crawshaw. I was happy with Sean Payton tonight, to keep on that topic. I thought, there were some difficulties there with him. The play calling, there was like the weird RJ Harvey pass down in the red zone. Hated that. I think it was really heavy on the passing stuff late and it worked out. They hit Troy Franklin downfield for that, what ostensibly was the game-winning play. But you had that last drive, or last 2 drives even, RJ Harvey, who had been bottled up all night. You saw the line, I think, more than anything, just beating up on a tired Chiefs defense. They were getting 4 or 5 yards on the ground pretty consistently at that point. Yeah. And, they go away from it on 2nd and 6. It's a bad incompletion. And then you're looking at that 3rd and 6, and it's like, well, you got to throw it again here. Mm-hmm. worked out. He hit Troy Franklin. Awesome play by everyone involved. But also, considering the game we saw from Troy Franklin, everything could have gone perfectly right on that play, and it could have bounced off the 11 on his jersey. You know, so
that's true.
I don't want to, like, it worked out. It was even a successful, like, he was wide open. Both made a great throw. You know, there are some moments where it's like, now the run game is working. I was fine in the first half with them being so pass heavy because I think everyone saw it. The run game was being absolutely bottled up, but Bo had it today. And so I think that's good coaching in that moment to go, hey, we got to have a pass heavy game plan here. Just like it would have been good coaching maybe the first 10 weeks of the season to go, oh my God, Bo does not have it and J.K. Dobbins does. Let's lean on this too.
Right.
And tonight, like 70% of the game, 75% of the game should have been on Bo, but down the stretch, I wish there was a little more. RJ Harvey. Speaking of Harvey, where are we at with him? This is going to be a very important player. And let's widen it a bit just to keep our pace up. How do we feel about Harvey? How do we feel about these other young weapons? Pat Bryant, Troy Franklin, I would throw into that mix. Maybe you could include Mims if you want. But there's a lot of young, important contributors on this Broncos offense who are going to have to step up big now that J.K. Dobbins is out of the picture, because more pressure on the passing game, on Harvey, of course, too. David, I'll start with you this time. Where are we at with those Broncos weapons?
Pat Bryant, more targets, baby. He's just so dependable. He's so dependable. And I can count on one hand, I feel like, the mistakes he's made all season. So, yeah, you're bad. I love Riley Moss. But anyways, I'm getting distracted. My ADHD is going crazy.
Sorry, David. That's on me.
No, you're good. Troy Franklin, up and down. But to me, he's like a streaky shooter, right? You remember J.R. Smith when he played for the Nuggets, man? You know, he's kind of like J.R. Smith. Like, when he's on, he's on. When he's not, he's not. And maybe that's just what we have to live with right now with Troy Franklin. But, man, if he could start coming down with some of these contested catches downfield, I mean, and there was one route that I felt like he kind of gave up on for a split moment.
Down the right sideline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like – I wish that we would stop seeing stuff like that because, again, you know, we're not even in the chance to get a flag, not like we'd get it against the Chiefs. But RJ Harvey, 11 carries. I think he ran hard, but like 2.7 yards a carry. We kind of went away from it, right? As you pointed out, Zach, I don't really know if I can completely grade the running backs' performances, but off of this game, but they ran hard. You know, they ran hard. I really want to see us sign somebody like Zach Moss or Gus Edwards this week and get them ready for after the bye. But I still think there's much more to RJ than what we've seen right now. But Kansas City, I mean, they were bottling up that run, especially in the first half. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to run on, or it was really hard to run on them today. I want to see some more from RJ Harvey. I think some of it with him, and I was saying this on the KOA pregame show, I think a lot of it with him is going to be a numbers game. Like J.K. Dobbins, you could trust to get 4 or 5 yards almost every carry.
Yep.
And of course, there were some where he was bottled up, but the success rate was so much higher. RJ Harvey's yards per carry average entering this game was 4.3 yards per carry, which is about right in line with league average. His success rate, though, of 34% is like 15 points lower than league average. And the reason how you get to that average with like so many of your runs putting you behind the sticks is because every now and then you pop one for 30 or 40. He's got the home run speed that Dobbins doesn't. And I think there's going to be games between now and the end of the season that feel like this one and are very frustrating. And I think there's going to be games like the Titans one where, you know, maybe a lot of his carries are like this, but he pops the one for 30 or 40 and you look down at the stat sheet at the end of the game and he finishes with 6 yards per carry or whatever.
Did he ever have a series in today's game where he got back-to-back carries? I mean, again, we weren't really running the ball very well, but
yeah, there definitely weren't many.
I don't know.
I can't remember one.
I don't know, but get this, guys. Yeah, Zach, you're asking about the young guys.
Yeah.
Our leading running back, both by attempts and yards, was RJ Harvey. Our leading receiver by yards was Troy Franklin, 84 yards. Our second leading, the one with the most receptions, was Bryant with 82 yards. Now, if that doesn't, three of our offensive weapons all were the biggest contributors in this game. So I think that speaks really highly about the future of these young guys. And then specifically on Harvey, I feel like I totally agree with what Zach said about it's a numbers game with him. If you want something out of him, you're probably going to need to see 17 to 20 carries.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's gonna bust one for 20 or 40 or 80 yards. I mean, so didn't happen tonight on 11 attempts. But again, like you guys said and David said, not only was the run not working, but the Chiefs were playing the run, loading the box, tempting. Yep. They've been watching Bo Nix struggle for the last God knows how many weeks, and they were like, "Fuck it, let's make them run the ball." Little did they know that Bo was going to come out slinging it for 300 yards and beat him. And so, yeah, good look. I think is a good look on the young guys. I think, I guess Barron, kind of a mixed bag. Not a particularly good game from him. Yeah, a couple of good plays, but I think
he should have had the pick six. Let's
be
honest about that, man.
Well, he should. And if Hufanga could catch the ball, he'd have 8 interceptions this year. But
he did catch the ball. He did catch the ball. And Riley Moss, he did not even have jersey on that play. He didn't even have jersey.
That was stupid.
And the corner probably gets away with that one. It was painful. I got to get into the. I'll mention the Jahdae Barron thing quick because I do have to talk about that. I'm rooting for Barron really hard. He's had a rough start to his rookie year just in terms of getting on the field. When he has gotten on the field, there's been ups and downs. And tonight was no different. You know, I think he got burned some. I think he had good coverage on some plays. He got burned for the one big deep play. Oh, it was incomplete. Sorry. But that one of those first deep shots, he just got torched by, was it Hollywood Brown or I can't remember who, but it was Worthy. Worthy torched him on that first Chiefs drive and Mahomes overthrew it. So up and down from Barron, but man, he should have had that pick six. And I am very sad for him. The other young guys, though, I'm so glad you shouted out Pat Bryant the way you did, Mike, because I think this is like Troy Franklin had a really rough start and he came through at the end as like the final hero of the game with that catch. But Pat Bryant was that dude today. He is the guy. He entered today's game with 10 receptions for 149 yards. With 43 of those coming last week, but 10 receptions, 149 yards. This week, he has 5 catches for 82 yards on only 6 targets too. I'm trying to figure out how many of those were first down conversions.
It felt like almost all of them.
And that's the thing with him. This was true of him in the preseason, like a crazy high clip of his catches went for first downs. And so far entering this game, right, I said he had the 10 receptions, 9 of those go for either first downs or touchdowns. I'm curious what it was today because 82 yards on 5 receptions. I'm sure one of them, maybe 2 of them didn't go for a first down, but it felt like every single time it was a high leverage play. I'm so glad he was okay. The way he came down on his head, also with a missed face mask, by the way, but the way he hit his helmet on that play, I was worried, maybe it'd be a concussion he was going to miss some time with, but right back into the game and right back making some more big plays. Also, Bo Nix, great game from him. Pat Bryant's day probably is even better if he hits Pat Bryant wide open on that out route on the second to last drive. I believe it was second to last. But so, up and down day or third to last, whatever. But Pat Bryant looks awesome. Troy Franklin, I think it's time to start dialing his snaps down. I just think he's fine to have honestly, he's probably a good number 4 wide receiver on balance. But I would be playing Bryant over him. I'd be playing Mims over him. Like I get you need the speed that Franklin offers and the field stretching ability. I think Mims offers all of that, but then he's also a threat around the line of scrimmage. He's a reliable catcher of the football. He comes down with very difficult grabs frequently. And I just would love to see a lot more of these Franklin opportunities go Mims' way, but he's the only young weapon I'm kind of feeling negative about tonight. And like I said, even he had his big moment.
And he's our second leading receiver on the team.
Yeah.
So even with all his problems, so if he can stop just not catching the ball, he's going to be something else. So I'm not going to lose faith on Franklin yet. I was off him. I'm back on him this year.
Just needs to have a higher hit rate on those. That's the one thing.
Yeah. 73 targets, 42 catches. That's, we need those numbers a little tighter.
I think the last big topic we got to get into before we do stars of the game and anything else you guys might want to hit on is the Riley Moss of it all. I think that's going to be, if the Broncos lost this game, everyone would be furious with Riley Moss. And I think like the right take here, personally, or I'll ask you guys and then I'll respond. Where are you guys at with Riley Moss?
I'm with, I'll go first this time, David. I'll let you off the hook. I think Riley Moss has played really well this year. I think he's just got one of the toughest jobs in the NFL. I think he's, and this is true. If you've watched football for more than 5 minutes, people get reputations in this league. And eventually, if you get a reputation for pass interference, for instance, in this instance, you get called. They just assume you did it. Like, so it's almost like they're targeting him. I'm not saying they are. But having said that, his penalties come at the worst frickin' time. And I tweeted this out early in the game that Andy Reid's game plan early was to just throw deep against Riley Moss. And you're either going to get an incompletion or you're going to get a penalty. It's the worst thing that's going to happen. He's not going to pick it off. That's what's going to happen. And it worked for a while because they had to open it up. So where am I? If the big question is where am I at with Riley Moss? He's got a really tough job. He's a really good football player. Not great, but good. And he's got that legend, that reputation out there, and they're going to call him. Some guys never get called for penalties. They call him any chance they get. So, yeah. But I didn't think he had a great game tonight. Like, I didn't think he played all that well tonight. But again, I didn't watch, I don't watch all that stuff until I rewatch the game. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I don't know how many passes did he allow tonight? I mean, what kind of game did he have? Do we have that information yet, or do we not?
Come out till later. But I thought, I'm with you. I thought it was an up and down game from him. I think. Yeah. Or David, what's your response to this?
Dude, I maybe I'm going out on a limb here, man. Those calls were BS, man. Yeah. I liked how Riley Moss played in this game, but this is the reality. As Mike said, he has an unfair reputation. He is judged unfairly compared not only to DBs on his own team, but throughout the NFL, man. Those flags were ridiculous, especially the illegal contact. The illegal contact call was insane. He didn't even have a handful of jersey, dude. He had his hand on the shoulder. What is wrong with that? There were plays in which, again, no calls on Chris Abrams' drain, which I thought were fine. But again, once Riley Moss is involved in a play in which there's some hand fighting or an inaccurate throw, he gets whatever the reverse of the benefit of the doubt is, man. It's horrible. I think that he's had a really great year for us. But it's like almost if PS2 is back, you almost, with how Chris Abrams, Drain, and Barron are playing, it's like on every third and long situation, you just have to take him off the field because of how unfairly I feel like he is being judged compared to the rest of the corners around the league, man. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Hollywood Brown pushed off. He pushed off. And Jim Nantz is even talking about that. Oh man, it looked like a little bit of a push off there from Hollywood Brown. His arm is the one that's extended, man. So really though, you gotta understand the fact is that he does get calls, dude, against this team, and it sucks. So it's almost like you have to take him off the field in certain ways, but it has nothing to do with him. It's the reverse racism with these refs.
I think there's a
The
big
white corner. Yeah.
There's a big part of that. I think there's a big part of that. He just he gets no benefit of the doubt. I think even national people like Bomani Jones, like a Greg Rosenthal have pointed this out. He does not yes, if there's any hand fighting or whatever, they're going to call the flag on Riley Moss. I will say, I think one or two of these, he was called for, I think 3 penalties. I think one of them, and I think you could also, like the illegal conduct one's probably a penalty by the letter of the law. I see corners do that all the time and not get called for it. But I think one of them definitely was like the second pass interference he had downfield. It was like, okay, yeah, that's a rough one on him. The first, I don't know. So it's a mixed bag to me. And I kind of come down at a similar place to you, David, where, and I don't think you do it because he is so good. He's allowing the lowest completion percentage when targeted this season of any cornerback in the league. He's better than plenty of teams' number 1 cornerbacks. Like if he was, Miami would kill to have Riley Moss on their defense right now. And Broncos fans want to bench the guy. But there is an element to man, if I was a team playing the Broncos and I get a 3rd and long ever, I'm just calling deep play to Riley Moss.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a prescient point, because it is a good result. I think he could, get an interception or something. He hasn't yet, but the odds of you getting a reception, getting a PI call, whether earned, because I think he helped kind of build that reputation, or unearned because the refs just throw him willy-nilly at Moss now. He leads the league in them, I think, now by a wide margin, and I really don't think he should. But yeah, he's going to have to, I don't know, prove it to the refs. I think it might be rough the rest of the year at least.
Yeah.
I don't see it changing. Stars, Mike, David, anything else you want to hit on before we get to stars of the game?
No, I just love that. I just love that hot take, that emotional take from David.
Yeah, well, dude, I'll say this too, man. Sorry for interrupting, but the Chiefs DBs grabbing on Cortland Sutton all day. They don't get one flag. That one sack where you said he should have hit Pat Bryant, probably because he was open, maybe, but it was short of the sticks. I'm not gonna fault Bo Nix, man, for throwing at the sticks, dude. But those guys are grabbing him, man. If that's Riley Moss right there, that's a flag coming out with a.
Zach, can you play the video that I sent that I put down there, please?
Of course, which are banger after banger after banger after certified banger. I don't miss.
That's true.
Sorry.
David, I got to get this back. Which way was
I made that just for you, David.
Dude, I love that. Dude, thank you.
I like when you go off. I like when you get emotional. Like Zach and I are just chill, we're just hanging out, and you're just like, fuck those refs, man.
Dude, I hate them, man.
Yeah.
Dude, we had 150 yards of penalties, and 100 of that was from bad calls.
Yeah.
Bad calls, man. And
before we move on, Zach, what can they do? Does Sean care? I mean, I know he hates penalties, but we're the worst penalized team in the league. And I think he's just kind of like, fuck it, go play ball. We'll do it.
So I'll say, I don't know how many of the penalties I'd blame on coaching. And I'll first 10 weeks of the season, coaching. But what, and I don't have it in front of me, but the penalties I think of, the Alex Palczewski holding on the run play where he grabs Drew Tranquil, that's not coaching. That's, I got my ass beat and I'm going to try and recover really sloppy now. And do I think Jim Leonard or Vance Joseph are telling the corners to engage the receiver before the ball gets there? I don't think so. Or, I'm trying to think what other penalties there were, but the 3 on Moss, there are different types of penalties. We're talking about 12 men on the field. That's coaching. Illegal formation. That's coaching. False start.
False starts, all that. Yeah.
Cooper out of lining up off sides. coaching. I would be fine with pointing that. Like, you know what? There's a difference between my receiver, and this didn't happen tonight, but my receiver's burning me downfield for a potential touchdown. I got to put my hand on him and tackle him and draw a flag, so it's not a touchdown.
Yeah, that's a good penalty.
That's on the player. You know, oh my God, Von Miller's tearing around the corner on me and I'm about to let up a sack. I'm going to tackle him. Like, that's not coaching. That's you getting beat on a rep. And I think, again, this is anecdotal. I don't have the charting of penalties in front of me. But I think the penalties tonight were much more of the like execution or like player getting beat variety. Now, Sean Payton had the crazy ass 15-yard penalty for taking out the ref. That's squarely on coaching. Obviously, you can't stand in that area.
No, that's on the ref. Get out of the way. Dude, that guy can see, dude. You know Sean Payton's right there. It's like the Texas Ranger yesterday at the Texas A&M football. You know where you're going. Dude, these guys hate Sean Payton. I'm sorry, Zach. No, man, I'm putting that on the ref. And he was embarrassed, so that's why he throws the flag. What a loser. What a loser crew.
After the game we saw tonight, I was not shedding too many tears for the ref. I'll also say I see Rich disagreeing. When you're leaving the player in the game, pretty much, if they keep holding, that's on coaching. Garrett Bowles' consistent holding penalty, like, you don't bench him because you don't have a better left tackle. Like, Chris Abrams-Drain, I really like him. He's not as good of a cornerback as Riley Moss is. Like, he doesn't have the loud mistakes, but also, like, Moss gets targeted downfield a good bit and forces an incompletion, or like he had a great PBU down the field. I think it was a target to Hollywood Brown in this game. No one talks about the reps he wins. And again, he wins a higher rate of reps than any other corner in the NFL. Lowest completion percentage allowed. That's what you want a corner to do. He does it with the hardest responsibility, playing opposite Pat Surtain, of any corner in the league. It's been so obvious that he's not a problem ever since Surtain went out of the lineup, because teams are just constantly targeting him. They're going at Drain. They're going at McMillan. There's not just a big circle on the relative weak link in a really strong secondary. I guess it's coaching that they're not benching a starting quarterback. That's good. Like, what, Bo gets a delay a game penalty? The bench Bo Nix now? Guys, Cortland Sutton got an illegal formation. I got to sit him down for little Jordan Humphrey. Like, no, that's stupid. I'm sorry.
Dude, that's why we got A.T. Perry.
Yeah, A.T. Perry love. I'm sorry. Tough week for David, by the way.
When they
devastating.
When they put LGH in there, I thought for sure they were going to throw a screen, and I was going to be so pissed because I thought he's going to go without J.K. Dobbins, we're going to have to run screens as our run game. So they put LJ in, and I'm like, oh, here comes the screen. Nope, they didn't even go that way. And I was like, okay, Sean's not that freaking obvious, because I mean, that made me happy. So A.T. Perry, you're next.
Dude, A.T. Perry catches some of those deep balls that Cortland or that Troy Franklin isn't catching, dude. That A.T. Perry's getting the job done. A.T. Perry had 4 touchdowns on 12 targets his rookie year, or 12 receptions, dude. This guy, 6'5", dude. He's coming down those deep balls. Sorry.
Why isn't he playing?
Good question.
David,
I don't know. Sean Payton's backstabbing
for you. In your opinion, why do you think he's not playing?
Troy has the draft capital.
All right. Well, it's possible.
Okay. By the way,
we just ground the show to a halt just then.
No, I got to say, while we're, settling sports, screw Tony Romo. I'll do a little company man stuff here and throw Tony Romo under the bus at the same time. If you're like me and the experience at this point of like listening to a Tony Romo broadcast, Broncos game or not, is like painful for you. And there's other announcers too that I think are really bad out there. I don't love Trent Green. I like anyways, if you don't like whatever announcer is going on with the Broncos game, I think it's called syncmygame.com. I'm pretty sure SYNC, syncmygame.com. You can sync your broadcast up with the radio broadcast, so you'll have like the Dave Logan call but you'll still be able to watch it on TV, and it'll sync it up for you. That's the whole point of it.
It sounds like we need a sponsorship for this game from Sync My
I
Broadcast.
know,
That's something that we need to DM him, Zach. That's
I'm
what
gonna
we need to
call
do.
up iHeartMedia, be like, hey, give me an extra bag. But I think that's because I was watching it from KOA today. I didn't have to deal with the Tony Romo broadcast, and I think my experience was much better. I can't,
dude. It's insufferable.
He's really declined. His whole shtick was like, I just retired, so I know the NFL and all of its plays, and now that shtick doesn't work anymore because he's further removed from the NFL, and it's terrible.
That's a great point.
I hate it. Anyway, sorry. I grounded the show to a halt. Let's go to. Are you guys ready for stars of the game? Am I missing?
Yeah,
anything?
let's go. Let's do it.
Sweet.
There's a
Stars
lot of
of
them.
the game. You know what? I'm gonna throw to David first, just to screw up Mike's plan he was telling us about pre-show.
Oh man, well, I'm gonna stick with the plan, man. Shoot, man. Let me go here. Sorry, 1 second, guys. This is I need to adjust. I need to adjust.
Oh, Mike, I was kidding. Did you actually? Don't leave.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. I need to put on my horse head.
Oh,
Bo Nix, baby.
on.
Bo Nix, dude. Everybody tried to say that he was a bust, that he sucked. Okay, yeah, he's overthrown some things. He can have happy feet some games, man. He settled down. He was absolute money. An 89-yard touchdown drive, right? Was that the one off of a Patrick Mahomes red zone interception, by the way? Oh, my God. No interceptions for Bo Nix. He was absolute money. Another game-winning drive, a fourth quarter comeback, and, third down conversion after third down conversion after third down conversion, guys. We were 7 of 15 off a third down. I think the Chiefs were like 30% on third down. Suck it, dude. Bo Nix was way better in the clutch situations, and you know what? He didn't get faulty flags either, man. He made the plays. Bo Nix, franchise quarterback. He showed it. All you want to do is see flashes from a young quarterback, and he rises when the moments matter the most. Who cares about how it might look from the first to third quarters? You're judged on if you win in this league. Bo Nix wins. We're 9-2.
I'm loving it.
I love that, David. I love that,
Mike, I'm going to throw it to you pretty quick here because I do see some comments going. Bo Nix had a great week or great game, but how is blah 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 not the player of the game? And Mike, who's your player of the game?
Well, first of all, I got to echo. I would have felt very comfortable with Bo Nix in this game, guys. David pointed it out. I mean, Bo Nix had a fantastic game. He was slinging it, 300 yards passing. He played better than Mahomes. I don't know if we talked about that on the air or off the air. But I mean, it's just true. It's just true. But there was, you know what, for a hard fought game and a game that the Broncos won, there's a lot of choices here. Troy Franklin would be a great choice. Pat Bryant would be a great choice. But I'm going to go defense. Somebody I've never had as my MVP of the game. And by the way, Hufanga, learn to catch the ball, and you will probably be the MVP of every freaking game. Like he picks off 3 passes a game. 3 passes a game.
He needs to be on that Caden Davis. He needs to be on the Caden Davis regimen. 30 minutes before everyone else shows up to practice, get on that jugs machine.
Get on the ball machine. Yeah, jugs, go for it.
Jerry Jeudy had one off season. He wanted to look like he was trying hard and worked on the jugs machine a lot right in front of the media pre-practice. Guys, look, I'm on the jugs machine. That's what he needs to do. Sorry.
All right, guys. I'm going to talk to you about a name we don't talk about a lot. Jaquan McMillan. This little scrappy guy. He's one of those hot and cold players, but man, he's getting more consistent. He's playing better. Vance is knowing how to use him. Just tonight, you could argue that he won the game for us as much as Bo Nix won the game for us tonight. This defense, Vance Joseph called a great game. I knew as soon as we scored, I said it in front of everybody, that the Chiefs were going to march right back down and score. For some reason, that's what we do. We can stop them all game, but as soon as we score a touchdown, the defense is like, oh, we're good, and then they score. not J Mac. This guy had, I'm gonna read this to you. This stat line to you. Total tackles, 6. This is for a nickelback, by the way.
And it was huge. The Broncos wanted to play light in this game. To do that, you need your nickel corners.
They had
to play in the run game, and he did that, to your point.
They put him in that position and said, J-Mac, go out there and hit people. You're going to have to cover the pass. You're going to have to cover the flats. You're going to have to do it all. 6 tackles, 5 solo, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, a pass breakup, an interception. I mean,
led the team in solo tackles.
Just a fantastic game from him. He was all over the field. Hats off to him. You're in a defensive backfield, missing their best player. You've got Travis Kelce running all over the place, speedy receivers, and J-Mac was as big a part of shutting this. When you don't have a big night from the pass rush, that everybody talks about our historic pass rush. There were 3 sacks tonight. J-Mac had 2 of them. So that's a weird stat. That's as weird as the Tillman has 2 interceptions on the year.
Even more than the sacks. They only had 4 total tackles for loss tonight. Rodriguez had a run stuff, but he had 2 of the 4 tackles for loss with those 2 sacks.
I'm really curious to see what our pressure rates and stuff were tonight. Not being a stat nerd, but those I do like to see pressure. I do like to see pressure rates. And Mahomes is really good at it. Just pisses me off because he runs about as slow as I do, and he'll gain 16 yards on a run, and I just hate that. Just makes me want to see Bo outrush him every game, which I think he may have done that tonight. So J-Mac gets my stars. But guys, there were a lot of really good players tonight. Everybody played pretty solid. Will Lutz would it be another choice too. Big Nuts Lutz this year has just been money for us. He's won, I think, 5 of these 9 games. Lutz has won for us. So
yeah, Lutz has been mostly money this year. A couple moments, but mostly money. Hit the big 50+ yarder. I think that was great. And I love the Jaquan call out. He was amazing this game. That interception should have been even more valuable than it was, but we had the aforementioned penalties.
Stupid penalty. Mm-hmm.
Might be more complimentary towards him if he does get that set up on KC's 40. Maybe that drive turns into points. Great game from him. The interception he had. Okay, I was looking at the wrong stat line. Had the pass defense, which I guess was the interception, but great game from Jaquan. His best game of the season. Making life hard on Jahdae Barron for sure as he tries to get into the lineup, but good problem to have on that front at least. My star of the game, and we also talked about. Or sorry, you go, David. Say what you want about Jaquan.
Oh, I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh, my bad. I thought I was.
He hates Jaquan.
Yeah,
he hates.
Although restricted free agent next year, so hey, he'll be back next year, which is awesome.
I'm very curious to see how they handle that tender. They're going to extend some. Not to get too nerdy, but they're going to extend some tender of some kind. You don't just let that guy walk. But do you get aggressive and do like a first or second round tender, which is going to be more expensive, but he's good enough that you might need that to protect him. If you do an original or a right of first refusal tender, probably gets signed away unless you want to match on a big deal. You could keep him cheap, or worst case scenario, get a second, or they wouldn't give you a first, but get like a second round pick out of the exchange.
I put a second round tender on her.
I would too.
I would right.
too, and he's not at a premium position as like an outside corner. I think they can find a way to hang on to him. If they need to pay him a little bit, we're going to have 40-something million in cap next year, being out of the Russell Wilson thing. He's not going to be one of our big dollar guys, but I think they're going to try and keep him too. If they don't, I haven't seen enough from Barron to justify letting J-Mac walk.
I feel the same, and it's also just J-Mac's been awesome this year.
He's just playing great
this game. Okay, my star. I'm going to go back to Pat Bryant. I just like Franklin was great too. Came through with that big play, but also had some big drops. I think he's been up and down. Pat Bryant, I'm so happy for him. He kind of had a rough start to the year in the sense that, like, even now, I mentioned his stats earlier, 10 receptions for 149 entering this game, and that's with 19 targets.
19 targets.
And a lot of them are not his fault. I went back and charted every single incompletion, and it's like a Bo Nix throwaway or a pass. I would say 4 or 5. No joke. I'm not even being hyperbolic. Of those 9 incompletions, 4 or 5 were deflected at the line of scrimmage and just had no chance of reaching Pat Bryant. And so he's had this like inefficient stat line through no fault of his own. And tonight, 6 balls thrown his way, reels in 9 of them, 82 yards, just awesome. And I wonder if the incompletion they're charting as a target was the one that went to Sutton. I imagine, that the third down late in the game where you wanted a holding called, sails over Bryant's head. You kind of saw it on the quarterback angle. I could have seen that charted as a target for Sutton or Bryant. I think it was for Sutton. But if that was the one for Bryant, that's an incompletion. Point being, then that's not even on him. I can't think of whatever incompletion was thrown his way, but he was just money all night long, coming up with big plays. And I think the Broncos need that role in this offense. Like, you've got Sutton as like your go-to reliable, hey, we need a play here guy. Last year they had Valet to balance him out when defenses were shifting all their coverage towards Sutton. Franklin's been great at getting the separation. He hasn't been the reliable target where, like, there's a critical third down conversion. Bo throws it right to him this game and it goes through his hands. Pat Bryant has been so money on those. I think he's in line for an even bigger role and looks like a draft hit right now. That was a guy who
definitely
everyone in the draft community labeled a reach, including myself, and looks like a really great pick now.
You're right. And I mean, what you said, Pat Bryant didn't drop a ball tonight. So whenever you see targets versus receptions, you have to do the nerd stuff like this guy. Because, but Troy Franklin tonight, he caught half of the balls that were thrown to him. 8 targets, 4 receptions versus 6 targets, 5 receptions. Pat Bryant is, I said it last week on the show, he's got the best hands on the team. Court is going to become what we used to call a possession receiver. I don't know if we still use that term anymore, but it's basically a big target that you can count on to get 7 yards and on third down when it's 3rd and 6, and he's going to catch the ball for you. Pat Bryant has the ability to do that and have a 48-yard long reception like he did tonight. That's a great call, Zach. So I was really on the fence. What a player. And when he was tackled, I thought broken clavicle, broken shoulder. Those were my fears. He comes out. I was so happy that he wasn't injured, because I think that he's just going to get better. He's going to get more targets, and he absolutely deserves them. And also, Ingram had kind of a game tonight. So thank you, Evan Ingram.
He was involved, which is what you needed.
What's that?
He was involved.
Yeah, he was involved. Five targets, 4 catches. He looked like he was kind of healthy and trying to make some plays. So welcome back to the team.
If he could just do that on a consistent basis, like, it would be a disappointment relative to, I think, what we were expecting and just from that signing in the offseason, or even after the preseason. But yeah, it needs to be like something. It's been so rough up until this point. And with Ingram, he's given you nothing as a blocker. So it's just whatever he gives you as a receiver. And like that Raiders game where it's like, my God, dude, catch the ball. Killer. I hope we get tonight's version of Evan Ingram the rest of the way. I think that'd be nice.
I do too. And you know what? The off season is such a great time when we hopefully we get together in the off season and we're talking about this stuff, to go back after we've been able to look at the season and really find out, is it Ingram? Is it the offense? Is it a combination of the two? Because the tight end usage on this team kind of seems like they're not running a tight end heavy offense. It doesn't look like the primary receiver is the tight end very often on the plays. Now
No.
that says something to me. Like, you know, he had 5 targets tonight and he caught 4 of them, and you know, he had 36 yards after the catch.
And Troutman had a
baby.
nice catch too.
Troutman had a
Troutman,
nice catch
so,
and run. Mhm.
nice to see that from the tight. Like you said, they've gotten really nothing there. I like this Dennis comment to give me one last kind of closing thought here. No, you know, this game comes with no J.K. Dobbins, no PS2, and no Singleton. And I just think, like, and I'll mainly focus on the PS2 part. Also, not having Nate Adkins, to our point about tight ends, like, he is a sneaky, very important part of this offense.
He's a good player.
No Ben Powers, too, for a lot of this stretch. And the Broncos have just kept winning games. They've been healthy for much of the year, but right now, these past like 2-3 weeks or so, with Mims being out until this game, they've had this weird little pocket of injury problems, and getting through it almost unscathed. I think PS2 probably misses that Commanders game, but the Commanders are not a great team. The Raiders right after that are not a good team. You know, if you just take care of business, you're probably looking at a healthier, you're done with JK for the year, but we'll be talking about a much healthier Broncos team, you know, 2-3 weeks from now. And maybe they make it through this injury riddled stretch without dropping a game. And I think that would be pretty damn awesome. Mike, do you have any closing thoughts here?
I do. Guys, this is the best time to be a Broncos fan than there has been since 2015. It's not even close. I cannot wrap my head around this Broncos team is 9-2, should be 11-0, as if you've watched every game this year. And if you don't like the should word, I'll say could be 11-0 because they lost 2 games with no time left on the clock and could have easily won those games. So we are currently the number 1 seed. We will have home field advantage in the playoffs. And if this keeps up, let me just run this down for you real quick. The Chargers lost like 35-6 or something to the Jags today.
Dude, they charged so hard.
That game, I watched it out of the corner. I had kind of the, I think I just had like red zone on, so I was catching like most of just little pieces and parts. But every time they tuned in, the Chargers were just getting the crap beat out of them. The loss of those 2 tackles is devastating on that team, and the Broncos have a 2-game lead on them right now. The Broncos have a 4-game lead, a 4.5-game lead on the Chiefs, maybe. I don't know exactly how that works, but definitely 4 games. We've got 9 wins. They've got 5. The Raiders are out of it. The AFC West is right there for us. We're going to win the AFC West. That's what I'm saying. That's my take. It's my final take. The Broncos are winning the AFC West this year. Said it before the game. If the Broncos beat the Chiefs today, they're winning the West. I'm going to stick with it. Those are my closing thoughts. Enjoy the bye week. They're going to come out firing with some new stuff, and the schedule lines up pretty well for them. So good things are coming.
David, what are you thinking as we close out here?
Yeah, I got to shout out the defensive line today and call out the depth, man. No Jonah Ellis today. Dondrea Tillman stepped up. I think he had I want to say he had a tackle for a loss, or maybe it was a QB hit. Malcolm Roach also made his presence known along, the cast of the normal guys making impacts like Zach Allen and whatnot. Awazarike had some nice plays in the run game as well. So
a tackle for loss.
Yeah. So really, though, you might say, hey, only 3 sacks. We're used to like having 8 sacks a game. Hey, I understand, but I want to give our edge rushers credit. They played very disciplined football today. That was one thing I was really, really worried about, is that our edge rushers can kind of over pursue at times and lead to big scrambling holes for the quarterback. And it was very clear the game plan was to keep Mahomes in the pocket. That is when he's at his worst, if there is a worst. And that's what helped, I think, lead to just a very inefficient day from him. There were very few times where he got outside the pocket and was able to make plays.
You know what? That's such a good call out, because I wasn't thinking about that, but there were a lot of times where pressure came and Mahomes did what he does so great, just escaping and extending the play, and creating an opportunity downfield. And it's not to say that he didn't create any of those, or successfully create any of those, but he created at least a lot of opportunities. And it felt like every time he did, either the pass rush finished the play or the coverage downfield held up. And that's just so freaking hard to do against Mahomes. That's why he's been the unstoppable force he's been for so many years. And I'll just kind of build on what Mike wanted to close with, which is this team is probably winning the AFC West right now. Like the Chiefs are pretty out of it. Their biggest competition for that throne is going to be a Chargers team that is very, very, very beat up right now. And it's a cool place to be. It's a place Broncos country hasn't gotten to be in a long, long time, where it means you're going to get a home playoff game. But it also means I'll focus on the Broncos. You'll get a home playoff game, and the rest of the way, we're going to be talking about seeding, which has not been a thing in Denver since 2015.
Yeah.
15, it was huge to get that 1 seed, and it was a big conversation point. Ever since, it's been, man, it'd be nice to make the playoffs. Man, it'd be, even entering this year, it'd be great to make the playoffs. Maybe they can get a win. And now we're going to be talking about, what are those first playoff matchups looking like? What is the tournament in general shape? Who could that second matchup be against? Could you get multiple home field games? Could you get that 1 seed? Because now in the 7-team format, it's very much in play. And the 14-team format, that 1 seed is crazy valuable. You get home field throughout. You get to play 1 less playoff game than everyone else. It's a game changer. And the fact we're having those conversations about the Broncos really quick, fun time for Broncos country. That's happy. But you also get to spoil it for your rivals. And that's great too. The Chiefs have been the juggernaut they've been, making the playoffs every year but 2 since Mahomes became the starter. And on those 2, they were in the AFC Championship, knocking on the doorstep of making it to those games. Like, one of those is the D Ford offsides game, where they lose to the Patriots, and then you get the nail biter against the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
The Broncos might be the first team, because this game, if it's what sends them to the wild card round, if it's what forces them to try and win 3 road playoff games in a row, this game that we just saw, this moment from the Broncos, might be the moment that stops Mahomes from reaching the AFC Championship for the first time in his career. And I think that's pretty sweet as well. Anything else? Or promo where they can find more of your work, fellas, and then we'll sign off.
Well, first of all, last thing, the Broncos, am I right? They've won now 10 straight games at home.
Yes.
It's either 9 or 10. I think it's 10.
I was just thinking you meant in general, but yeah, about 10 is right.
10 straight home wins. Home field advantage is back in Denver the way it was in the Elway years. We just didn't lose at home. Tough to beat at home. We took a big step towards that certainly getting a home playoff game, but maybe even a first round bye and home field advantage. We're going to see how it plays out. 9-2. That could be, if they get the first seed and play at home, then you're going to start hearing me talking about Super Bowl being on the board. So that's how excited I am. So first of all, shout out Zach at Let's Talk Broncos for hosting the show for us and doing all the hard work. We just get to come on here and talk, so it's great. Everybody knows I'm at mic'd up, which you would see on the screen, except we're in thin mode tonight, so you just see ED'd up, so it looks like it says fucked up, but it says mic'd up. And shout out to my guy David too. The 3 of us are undefeated just as the Broncos are, and we're going to take credit for it. So yeah, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me wherever you want to. David, tell them about yourself.
Dude, I love it. Yeah. Again, guys, link in description for Kalshi. Thanks for sponsoring the channel. DTB. Get yourself a nice little bonus. You can find me at David Talks Buffs on YouTube, David Talks Broncos on YouTube. And yeah, we got all sorts of shows going, including a big collaboration tomorrow night, which is Horsepower Hour with some of your other favorite Broncos creators not on tonight. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But Zach, Mike, I love what we got going on. Ever since Mike came on, man, we are undefeated. And yeah, you guys are bringing it up. Let's go get Mercedes Lewis the Super Bowl. And hey, J.K. Dobbins could be back if we make the Super Bowl. So
that's
true. Lot to play for.
That's true.
Broncos. So the win streak, and thank you guys very much for the kind words, and I appreciate the shout out. Make sure you are supporting Mic'd Up and David Talks Broncos, David Talks Buffs. Love these guys, love the work they're doing. It's been fun doing our post games together. It is 11 straight home wins now, Mike.
So it was 10. It was 10 today, and now it's 11.
Yeah, it's now
crazy.
11.
We're back, baby. We are back.
So the longest, sorry, I just had it here. The longest Broncos home winning streaks are how many are there? So they actually have the third longest one all time from 96 to 98. They won 24 home games in a row.
I remember.
They had a 13-game home win streak from 2012 through 2013. They had another 13-game home win streak from 2004 to 2006. And then in 1983 through 1984, they had a 12-game win streak. So they've had 4 longer in Broncos history, which is a pretty darn illustrious history and a good home field advantage throughout that illustrious history. This is the 5th longest home winning streak for the franchise. Pretty darn cool time to be a Broncos fan. Soak it in, everybody. If the last decade taught you anything, I hope it's to savor these moments. Support my guys, David and Mike. And until next time, everybody, let's go Broncos.
Let's go Broncos.